That end back there, man, has it been platted? Has it been platted? I told him check it. Sorry about that.
Okay, got a stone there?
I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna double check, but y'all go, you can go ahead, I'm pretty sure it's fine. You're good.
We good?
Good go.
Okay, before we get started this morning, I went over to Franklin, Kentucky last, I think, Tuesday for a holiday designation for Logan and Simpson County. And Senator Mitch McConnell was there, and he was a leading person in us getting that holiday designation for our drug task force for Logan and Simpson. I don't know exactly how many dollars it involved, but it will involve enough dollars that it should make a difference in our drug task force. And before he done anything, he held up his mask and thanked everybody there for wearing a mask. And we know this last week that the governor kind of mandated the mask, so I appreciate every one of you this morning because you all got a mask with you or you're 6 feet apart. And we need to remember that. A week ago Thursday, I forgot exactly how many total cases Logan County had, but this was a week ago Thursday now, it wasn't last Thursday. We had 29 active cases of COVID in Logan County. The report I got Thursday, we had 55 cases. Last Thursday, we had 55 active cases. Today we got 251 cases as of late this afternoon. Out of that 251, 192 have recovered. We've had 17 deaths in Logan County, and we're at 42 active cases now in the county as of last night at 5 o'clock. So we need to remember all those folks, and please remember to wear one of these masks. I don't know what they do, but if they'll help, we need to do this for less than a cup of coffee a day. We can protect our friends and neighbors. With all that being said, and we've lost a lot of people in the county this last weekend. Jason, would you like to up there this morning?
Yes, sir. Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for this day that you've given us. Thank you for all your many blessings, Lord, and thank you for keeping each and every one of us safe. I pray for our country, and I pray for our county, and I pray for everybody that's in our community that's been affected by this virus. Lord, we pray for each and every family that's lost a loved one. And right now, we just pray for your guidance to help us through this meeting, help us all make the best decisions that we can for the county, and just continue to lead, guide, and direct us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's call the meeting to order with the pledge of the flag. And Tyler, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Sure. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if it pleases the court, I'd like to do a little moving this morning. I know we got some bidders here, and I put them down on the agenda. And also, right after the minutes, I don't know if this require a motion because it's already on the agenda. Amanda's got a lot of work downstairs, and I'm going to want to put her report right after the minutes this morning, and then we'll move up the two bids. Let those people conserve our time, and we do appreciate everybody that bids on bids we put out. So if that pleases the court, we'll just do that. Okay? All right. First thing is approval of the minutes. You got the minutes there from June 22nd. that need to be approved. This is a regular scheduled court meeting.
Make a motion to approve the June 22nd minutes.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any question? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, the June 25th special call meeting.
Well, I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for the June 25th called meeting as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, well, go ahead and take our treasury report at this time, then. I think y'all got a book in your folder from the treasurer this morning.
Good morning. Several things in your folders today. We have the financial statement ending June 30, 2020, the finance officer's appropriation condition report, as well as a list of the encumbrances ending June 30, 2020, our CFA financial report, which is our federal expenditure report for fiscal year 1920, and the third-party financial statement for the June 30 ending quarter as well. The balance in the general fund on June 30 was $860,795.02. Road fund 497,811.70. Jail fund 126,398.10. LGEA 124,529.78. Solid waste 611,787.79. Occupational tax 5,907,404.11. Life skills 153,378.91. 911 fund 68,722.74. Special reserve 4,177,229.97, for a total of all funds 12,528,058.12.
Move to acknowledge. Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to acknowledge that report. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
We do have a list of budget transfers in your court folder this time. The majority of those budget transfers are from open enrollment, where people waived our insurance and took waiver funds, and we just needed to get the proper amount of money into that other fringe benefit line item for each department.
Motion to approve budget transfers as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the budget transfers. Okay, is there any questions? I think Amanda explained it pretty well. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
We do have two cash transfers today. Today, we need to transfer $70,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the jail fund.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any question? Okay, let's go ahead and have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
And we need to transfer $25,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the LGEA fund.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. on transfer. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle. Bolden. Chick.
Yes.
And the last thing that I have for you this morning is my annual financial statement. It looks like this in your court folders. We're required to do this by DLG and auditing standards. It essentially outlines for you every receipt that we received in fiscal year 1920, as well as every expenditure that we had, and a total list of all payroll, gross wages for everyone there. Shows our bank balances on June 30, and I just need you all to acknowledge that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to acknowledge the report. Is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle. Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
And that's all I have for you today.
That's enough.
Plenty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we had, if you go to the, let's go ahead and do the bills, and then we'll move those bid openings on up so those people can come forward if they need to. You got a bill list and a supplemental bill list in your folder. On page 7, right at the top, you'll see the Kentucky Association of Counties annual earthquake at $30,984 that we're not going to pay this court meeting. We need to pay everything except that. We've had a little bit better deal come in that we're going to address at the end of the court. So if we approve the bill and supplemental bill list, we need to leave out paying that bill.
Put that in the form of a motion, pay the bill list, supplemental bill list with the exception of the one insurance payment for the earthquake, 30,000 and whatever dollar there, 984. Everything except that.
Okay, got a motion, got a second? So, any questions? I know this bill list looked high, but we pay a lot of our insurance, our annual dues, and different things that made up the biggest part of it, plus a little election expense this time. If there's no question, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, we'll open bids for dump trucks. I've got 2 bids here. See if I got an opener. Okay, the first one is from Tri-State International Trucks from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Okay, it looks like if he included a trade in here, it looked like the price per truck is $95,400 with the total being $190,000. $800 for 2 trucks. He's allowing, look like $20,000 each trade-in, if we decide to trade. And that was advertised. The total bill is $150,800. Okay, the next one's Kenworth of Bowling Green. And this representative's here today. I don't know his name, I just know he's here.
John Logan, Kenworth of Bowling Green.
Okay. Total price, I guess this is per truck,
Yes, sir.
$100,595,
Yes, sir.
and that's including the bid. The truck is $83,570. Rogers bid for $17,025. And I don't know if you allowed anything if we did any trade-ins or not.
I put that on the bottom of the page, sir. What I done was I just listed.
Come up at that mic if you don't care.
Appreciate y'all having me come in. What I've done on the bottom of the page was just showing buying the trucks outright. That
Okay.
way, instead of mucking up your buying of the trucks is a flat fee, and then we'll just cut a check for the difference on the other 2 trucks if you decide to trade them in, rather than try to show it as a trade-in. I don't know if that would work better for you guys. Either way is okay with us.
So what was the value you were giving us for?
We put them at 9,000 apiece. I do have more work in that. By the time I put it out, we're just waiting for people to come back and see what we can do with them as far as moving them back out. As far as the trucks goes, I spent 27 years over the road, about 3 million miles. I've owned a few, was fortunate enough to go into management. One thing, no matter what you all pick, you're going to get a good truck, whether you go with International or with us. You know, at the beginning, you're going to get a good ride and a good vehicle as far as equipment goes. The difference when you're talking about the Kenworth compared to International is down the road. When you're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, that's where the Kenworth stands out for the price difference. There's always going to be an uptick. Kenworth is always going to be the most expensive truck on the road, and that's just kind of the way it goes. But its advantages on the back end is the wiring, parts service behind us. One thing we do, and I'm pretty sure International does it too, not speaking for them, we run a parts guy 5 days a week. Anything the guys need at the shop, we come out and help them. All they got to do is give us a call, and they'll bring the part out same day. So, I mean, other than that, you're going to get good no matter which way you go. But Kenworth's standout is longevity and down the road, and I think that's shown in the truck that you all got.
Did Tri-State's bid, was that with the bid as well?
Yeah, that was,
Truck specifications and body specification from Rogers manufacturers are enclosed.
that's a Rogers bid too.
And I included Roger's quote in there to show that
Yeah.
whatever their price is just the same thing we put on with the truck.
Yeah, I saw that in yours. I've passed it around, let
Yep.
people look at it, but, here you go, Barry.
Yeah, I don't want to make 16.
And I just had to put a rough guess on the trucks because I hadn't heard back from our trading group yet, so I just put the number on the best I could.
Okay. I'll send this.
Yes, sir. Yep.
there an international representative here? Or did-
Don't think there's nobody here representing international.
He couldn't be here. We have been buying international. Kenworth's a good truck. Both of them are good trucks. Of course, Kenworth is more of a Cadillac, you know. That's what we're trading in Kenworth. They're old fives, but they're good trucks. It's up to the court, I guess.
If there's any questions I can answer, I mean,
Is that trade in on the international? What was that trade in?
20,000.
Per unit?
What's that?
and like I said, I just had to throw a number on there. Our trade group hadn't come back, and if I put a high number on it, they would shanghai me without getting their number back. But I think for me, one of the things I did in mind was not count that as part of the deal, the way you do it, whichever way works out better.
Judge, after everybody looks at that, can we take just a short equipment committee meeting, just to look these over the specs side by side? Can we take just a short break?
Yeah, we can take a short break if
Just a
need
little
to.
short, we'll try not to. That'll be for you, Paul, too, to look at them side by side. I noticed,
I don't need to look at it, I wouldn't know what I was looking at, so.
I noticed the Kenworth's got the back car engine, correct?
It's called a PX9. That's the old Cummins engine
Okay,
rebranded. They bought the patent to it, so it's still a Cummins. It's just happens to be gray.
okay.
Now Cummins has come a long way from what the ISXs was. They had fuel problems back in the day. The X15 has solved that problem, and what they done was, and the PX9 done it, was they changed the fuel rail system. That's what made the fuel work better. So the PX9s has really been doing well. BGMU runs them, the county and the water. That's what I put in all their trucks. Same transmission, everything. The Allison.
Allison transmission.
Yeah, the
What are they,
3500.
nine?
What's that?
What speed Allison is that?
It's a 3500 RDS.
Yeah, what speed? Is it 9, 8,
It's 6 speed.
6 speed?
Yeah,
Okay.
6 speed
with double overdrive. Oh, that's international.
Yeah.
They'll want to take about a 5-10 minute break.
Yeah, we'll do it quick if Paul's okay with that.
105, 95.
Okay, we're back in session. Equipment committees came back in, so have we got any kind of recommendation?
The committee's going to make the recommendation, which we appreciate both of them bidding on this. And but it looks like with the trade-in value from Tri-State, the committee is going to recommend that we go with Tri-State International. The price per truck is $95,400 each, and they're going to allow $20,000 a truck trade-in value. So that is a recommendation we're going to put forward, buying 2 trucks from them, and we had a little different figure a while ago, but it's take $20,000 off, it'd be $75,400, it looks like to me.
It's 158 for all.
158.
And I'm gonna second that.
Yes.
But you are recommending?
Yeah, it's one what we are recommending to, and it is, the purchase will be $150,800 for 2,
With the trade-in?
with 2 trade-ins, $20,000 a piece per truck trade-in. I have the VIN numbers here of the trade-in trucks. And we're gonna put that in the form of a motion.
And I have seconded, I thought.
Yes, got you down for that. Thank you.
Okay, we had a motion to accept the bid from TriStar with the trade-in allowance of $20,000 per truck trade-in. And we've had a second. Any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, thank you for being here.
Thanks for
Thank you.
bidding.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, let's go ahead and let Kathy's here with the Humane Society. Kathy, if you want to come up and give your report.
Just a mid-year report, just let you guys know where we are before the end of the year.
Pull that mic over, Kathy, so everybody can hear you. Just pull a stand.
Hold a second.
There you go.
How's that? Is that better?
That's better.
Right now, we have 21 dogs and 57 cats. The majority of those cats are in foster care. We were having a pretty good year until the first. I'll get to that in a second, but for January to June the 30th, we were at 93%. We had 597 brought in. 69% of those are strays running at large that animal control has gone and picked up. That would be 326, so a little bit more than half of the stray total that came in, which means that 558 out of 597 were adopted or sent to rescue. For that 6-month period, we only had 39 euthanasias. The only reason we euthanize anything is if it's sick, injured, hit by a car, or is aggressive to people or extremely aggressive to other dogs. On the 1st, we did, it's not in this report, but just to let you guys know, we did have an outbreak of a feline virus that is fatal and is extremely painful if you let it progress. So on July 1st, we euthanized 65 cats. And the next day when we went in, we had kept around 16, and we euthanized 10 more of those. So in 2 days, we euthanized 75 cats. So it's been a pretty hard 2 weeks. There were a couple of issues beyond the report that I wanted to bring up. Judge Chick and I had talked about it a little bit. One of our biggest concerns is having cats in the building because we cannot properly sanitize. Our drains don't work. We have 4 drains in the house part where we keep our cats that do not drain at all. We also are very short on proper cages. We only have 4 units of cages, and if we split the bottom, that only gives us 16 cages. And as you can see, within a couple of weeks, we ended up having about 80 brought in. So having only 16 cages and having 80 cats doesn't really work out. So I wanted to thank you guys too about the grant. The grant goes in tomorrow. That's for spay neuter. I would like to focus that specifically on cats so that we can nip this whole problem in the bud. But in addition to the drains, we have also had a large hole open up in our floor. I couldn't get good pictures of it because it's so deep that the flash won't flash down into the hole. So I don't know if it's from when they put the drains in and they had to dig out underneath, or if it's from the rock quarry next door and it's shook some stuff loose. But we do have a lot of water going through the building. So those are big concerns for us. I know that a couple of the things that I asked you guys about today won't happen today, but I just wanted to put it in front of you. We have a quote from H&H from May 13th of last year, which since this is July, that's actually 3 fiscal years ago, that they won the bid to do our drain covers, and they have continually refused to come out and measure and actually complete the job. I've called, I think others have called, Amanda called before me, and they put in for the bid, they got the bid, but they've refused to do it. So I would like to ask you guys to allow me to get new estimates from other people besides them to get that completed, because it is a matter of safety for the animals and for us when we have a trench this tall and there's no cover on it whatsoever, or the covers that are on it don't properly fit. Another issue that I wanted to put in front of you guys for discussion is KRS states that we're to hold dogs for 5 days, but Logan County's ordinances state 7 days. I wanted to get that changed to 5 days. It turns over the animal faster, puts them up for adoption faster, gets them into rescue faster if we don't have that additional 2 days. And it's also an additional expense if we're holding them that long. So those were just a couple of things that I wanted to put in front of you guys. Overall, it's been a good year up until the first. But the lack of cat cages is something that I also wanted to say in front of you guys I'm going to be raising money for. I've already gotten the quotes and the layouts for cages, and the estimate right now is $19,000. So it's not a cheap endeavor. However, if we don't have proper cages, then I would also like to ask you guys to modify our contract so that we're not taking cats in, because we cannot properly house cats in the conditions that we have. So that's it.
On the drainage deal, that was only it was only a $300 job. So I'm not sure what kind of action do we need to take on that. We should just give it again.
Can we just allow the judge to, up to a certain amount, get this taken care of? I mean, I thought it was already.
What we can do, we can get a quote. If it's a couple of quotes, if it's under $1,000, we can make a determination.
Yeah, that has to be done. So we can do that.
You're talking about the drain covers. Okay, and on that Have we had anybody out there to see if that pipe stopped up from the house?
Not in the 6 months that I've been there that I know of. But I know from employees who have been there longer than just the past year has said the drains have always been clogged up since they've been there. So I'm
Okay.
not sure if it was ever brought in front of you guys, but there are 4 drains in the floor that do not drain whatsoever.
In the office part.
Yes, so in the bottom part, I don't know if you've ever been out there, but in the bottom part, it's basically a basement. It's built on top of the ground, but it's made out of cinder block. And when they went in, it looks like you could follow it, because it was already, the structure was already there. They went in and cut out the floor, laid drains, and concreted over the top of those drains, and made all those drains drain out into we call it the breezeway, but it's the part in between the old building and the kennel building. There's a trough that those are supposed to drain into, and they don't drain at all. So it's very hard to clean up after cats, because cats, well, all dogs and cats, you're trying to kill viruses, and we're all pretty educated about viruses right now. That's all we hear in the news. Certain viruses live longer than others, and certain viruses have to be treated in a different way. The cat virus that we have is a very strong virus, and so we have to clean at the highest concentration. We should be pulling all of those cat cages out, cleaning the walls, the fence, everything. We can't do that. We did find that we had to, because, but we were having to squeegee it out into the hallway. The problem with having to squeegee it out of a room is all of our electrical is in the main room. Our washers and dryers are in the main room. You can't squeegee that past all of that electrical without also causing a hazardous condition for your employees. So being able to squeegee it into the drain into the same room also keeps you from potentially contaminating other areas of the shelter. So
Okay.
I feel like one of the main things Jason and I have talked about, what are the main things, and there are a few other things, the exterior doors, which I don't want to go into for the security of the building, but right now, as I see it, the drains not draining is the biggest threat to the animals out there right now. So I don't know if it's a big job. I don't know if it's just a matter of getting something industrial that really works, that will go down through the drains. I'm sure other things have been tried over the years, but I don't know that for sure. So
What's the name of the virus? Do you know?
it's Khaleesi. You can, it usually presents as an upper respiratory. However, when we went through and checked everybody, because we found it in a cat that was presenting in that way, we also found one cat who very possibly could have been our patient X, because he had the blisters in his mouth. So there's 2 different ways it presents. He had the blisters in his mouth, but no other signs whatsoever. So if he was asymptomatic, he could have passed it to the other cats without us knowing that he was positive. So and a lot of cats do have it. It's just that they fought it off as a kitten. But when you have that many cats in one area, it spreads, and it spreads fast. So when we found it that morning, by that afternoon, we already had others that were lethargic and were presenting with blisters. We tried to save some of the older ones, but then by the next morning, they had already started exhibiting strong symptoms of it. So because of the blisters that they get in their mouth, it keeps them from eating. So it's a horrible disease. Being able to clean properly and having cages, we were having to use wire dog cages for the cats. And if a cat sneezes right here, it will go about 20 feet. And if you've got cages that are set up, one sneeze and it takes out the entire population, which is what happened to us. We don't know when, but it's a very fast virus too. So we found it on a Wednesday. It could have come in on Monday. The gestation is 2 to 6 days.
Is there any grants out there that you know of for cages and supplies like that?
Yes, there are. And I'm working on that. I've just about got, I thought that that's how I was going to spend July 1st was dropping off our financials to the CPA, but I have 4 months left to get together, and those should be done by Friday. Now, the grant that for the state is due tomorrow. So cages aren't key to this problem. Spay neuter is key to this problem because we've been managing the past few weeks by putting cats straight into foster homes and asking the people to please hold on to them for a day. Hold on to them till tomorrow. Let us call somebody, because we did get an influx of people who wanted to foster for us. And that allows us to go ahead and give them their vaccinations and give them their first vaccinations and get them started on their dewormer and stuff and put them directly into a home. So we have been managing that a little bit. So.
Yeah, so not accepting cats would not be an option for me. I mean, we got
It's
more.
not an option. It's
We got
not
more of
an
a
option
feline
for the
problem.
community.
We got more feline problem than a dog problem. So,
Yes.
as far as overpopulation. So,
Absolutely.
however we,
But the spay neuter grant is going to be also key to that.
Yeah.
So if we can get the population under control,
yeah.
the cages aren't the most important part. However, since we don't have the overpopulation under control, we have to have proper cages.
Okay. Well, that's always been a true statement with cats on this time of year. We've used this grant a couple different times on catch and release, catch, spade, and release.
Yeah.
And I think you're talking about possibility of doing that, or
Absolutely.
I just know that several times this grant has been used for catch, spade, and release.
Right. Well, we've already approved the grant, so that should be coming up.
It's just timing of the year, you know.
It is, and it hasn't been a bad year. It's been a bad 2 weeks.
Yes, I mean, I think whatever we got to do to, keep it sanitized properly. I mean, I don't know.
Okay,
Total answer is-
basically while ago I asked you, is the pipe stopped up, you think, or it just not going through
It's
the
very
drain?
possible if they weren't cleaning properly before and were putting cat litter down the drains, and it's
Yeah.
just clogged up.
Could be
Which is the
stopped up,
reason why
so
you don't
we,
put cat litter down the
maybe we can
drains.
work on something about getting them roto-rooted or something like that to at least solve that problem. And Jason, if you'll get with me, we'll try to make a trip out there and look at everything this week,
That'd be good.
okay?
Especially the hole, because I can't get a good picture of it. We're gonna have to stick something down in there. And
Okay,
see.
well, write the thing down and have them written down for us when we get out there, and then we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely.
Okay?
All right.
As far as the 5-day deal go, I wouldn't be interested in, 5 days would be okay, I think, for allow adoption, but not euthanization.
Okay.
I would.
And that would take an ordinance change. It would take 2 court meetings
All right.
if we did make that change.
But we could have something in place that said we could release the animals for adoption for 5 days, but not euthanization, right? We could have something like a 2-part deal there.
Yeah.
We're not,
So we could discuss that because, so if we get a dog in who is extremely aggressive and is trying to kill us the entire time he's there, we can't put him down for 7 days.
when you have to put one down, does Bender come out and do it?
Oh, yes, sir. Everything out there has lapsed. The DEA license has lapsed. I was certified at one time, but I'm not certified now. We were going to try to get recertified in the spring, but everything's been canceled because of coronavirus. So there's no sort of recertification classes. So when I say we did it, we did not do it. 3 technicians from another shelter came in and was there with me until 9 o'clock that night doing it. I did not do it because I'm not certified right now. I was in the past, but I'm not right now. So, anytime that we have a hit by car or something like that, it goes to a veterinarian here in town. They make an assessment. They let us know whether or not they feel that the animal is going to survive its injuries, and then they euthanize it for us at a cost, of course.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Doing a great
it.
job on adoptions. Thank you. That's great.
All right, we'll go back up to the top of the list then, right after the minutes, and approve a Regional Development Agency Assistance Program designation of the IDA. Every one of you should have a copy of that. Basically, what this is where the state is giving back part of the Tennessee Valley Authority in lieu of taxes to some of the counties that served by TVA for economic development purposes only. And this will be the 3rd year we've done this. If y'all remember, the first year I think was a lower amount. Last year was about 100,000, and this year they got it up to where they promised that they would give back to counties. I think it involved $6 million, and I can't remember the number of counties, but it's KRS 154.50-346, and basically what it is, it's a resolution where Logan County Fiscal Court is recognizing the Logan County Industrial Development Authority to receive this funding, and the total amount of funding is $153,846 and 15 cents. $153,846 and 15 cents, and basically we're designating our Logan Economic Development Department to be the recipient of this and the people who oversee it. Back a little bit over a year ago, we purchased 51.84 acres from the American Legion. We paid $308,000 down, with that being a balance of $711,800. We're planning on making this full payment this year, which will get the debtness down to $561,800. Is what the money's planning on being used for. So we need to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any questions? If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle, Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item, business road work request.
District 1, let's see, on Newtown Road, have a driveway tile that was stopped up. I think it keeps getting stopped up, so maybe a possible replacement, but I think y'all may have already taken care of that. Newtown Road, Dotson.
Yeah, ongoing
Ongoing problem.
for years.
I know it. So I don't know, maybe one of these days. we
Cross
can-
drain or a driveway tile? Okay.
Maybe one of these days we can figure it out, but I talked to you about a little bit about this. I think over there, when it rains a lot, there's a road that is very, very slippery, and cars seem to drive too fast down that hill, and they can't stop, so they run into on Newtown Road as well. It's off Laurie Street, I believe, and they run into these homeowners' front yard, getting close to their house. And it's happened, I can't remember, say 2 or 3 times since March, I think. So, I mean, I don't know how we can stop them, but if anything, you know, maybe we can put a sign up at the, I don't know what kind of sign that would be, just to warn people to, when it's wet, to slow down, and so they see it, yellow sign or something, or maybe at the other side of Laurie on Newtown, so it would at least, a sign could at least stop somebody's car from going too far and injuring someone in the house. But anyway, we could talk about the type of sign, but I would like to see something happen there. Everything else is good. Appreciate it.
Mr. Stone? Mr. Bigby's dealing with the water stands off the side of the road. Clean up that drainage ditch on that side, like the one that goes on the south side. He really don't want to dig in his front yard. And, if you could, put a sign up at Sam Mason and Kirby Road, probably be at a dead end back through there.
They said it was already one there. Who says, which road was that?
Kirby and Sam
Oh,
Mason.
Kirby.
He's dead end sign at the beginning of it.
You mean, Kirby.
It is Kirby, isn't it?
Anyway, I know what you're talking about. I think Kelly said it was one already there, but I'll look and see.
Everything's good, thank you.
District 3, discontinue maintenance, and remind me about that night subdivision, Paul. We'll need to look at that and see if that thing is plat. I mean, will they have it uptown?
Well, I told those guys in the back, I need to check, get it planted and zoning, and I'm sure they have, so.
He called me, them 4 lots have been sold, and he called me, and,
If they're platted, they'll still have to build the road.
it's platted, and it's got stakes in the fence line there, and it's built up, and it's got little ditches. So they plan on the road being there when they done the subdivision, but I don't know the stats
But
of
it'll be
it.
up to those contractors to finish the road out to our specs, we have to take it on or not.
Okay.
So they're in the process, I guess, of contemplating another. I had to have it all back.
Okay,
I just showed them where we ended. And
do we ended the blacktop there?
Our actual road ends at the blacktop.
Okay.
Anything more will take the court. If they finish the road out, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, blacktop.
I think Mr. Mass called me. Mr. Mass has bought them 4 lots now, and he's the one that, I told him I'd try to check on it. Okay, thank you. Continue maintenance. Appreciate all the hard work.
District 4, when you go down Cooper Town Road and you turn right on Homer Insco, it kind of makes it's a hard turn back to the right. And the farm equipment people, I've had 2 people call and ask if we can, is there anything we can do to put some big gravel or something? There's not a cross tie there, it's just really hard to make that turn.
Well, it's been widened over the years, but try to put some more over there.
But I had never paid
It's hard to keep a
attention.
sign up right there too,
Do they run the sign over?
on both sides, so.
But other than that, everything's good. We had an 8-inch rain a couple weekends ago, which was hard on North Logan, but county got out.
Your new bridge stayed there?
It stayed, but it took a good test. But everything else is good. Just continue maintenance. We appreciate all the hard work.
District 5, everything looks good. And for these people that live on a county road, if they think it's not mowed, they ought to live on a state road. I live on a state road, and if we all did, excuse me, we all didn't mow it ourselves on my end, it never would get mowed.
We're starting on the 3rd round. So,
Yeah, you're doing good, continue.
I ain't got nothing, Paul. Maybe something else.
I can go up the zone, but it's just maintenance, I appreciate your work.
He feels sorry for you, Paul. We wore you out.
Okay, we've heard the road work request. I hope that every one of you taking time, look this report you get every month, that stuff is done in the district, and that we have a motion on the road work request.
So moved.
That's the road work request.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and seconds. Any questions?
Second my motion.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, back to the officials. Phil sent me an email, said he's on a conference meeting with the Department of Corrections this morning, and he won't be here today. And the next is the sheriff, and I think we got a fee report, and Forrest is here this morning.
Good morning, Court.
Good morning. Morning.
I'd like to ask for you to acknowledge the June fee report.
Motion to acknowledge the June Logan County Sheriff's Department fee report.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to accept, to acknowledge the Logan County Sheriff fee report. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Previously, the court had approved the sheriff's office purchasing a 2017 Dodge Charger from the Missouri Highway Patrol. Currently, they have a car ready for us. We'd like to ask today that the check be written by the treasurer for $16,950.
Now this is where?
This is the used Charger that the sheriff has asked about in Missouri. We've talked about before.
Okay,
got it
we,
down there for 50,000 miles.
Yeah, we can do that through an executive order, can't we? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've already.
Right.
That, yeah, if the court, we got you just got the one quote though.
Well, he brought it up here when he was doing that, and he was talking about trying to get one from them.
Yeah, but it don't need to come in front of the court unless you got a couple of quotes. Well, what we decided we needed to do, if one came available, we need to do an executive order and go ahead and purchase that car.
Okay, okay.
You know, but if it comes up here, that's a different story. You know what I'm talking about, you know. So,
Still the case, of course, that it's really difficult because of the competition and stuff with COVID. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. There's not any new Chargers out, and we're not going to be able to order any new Chargers till the fall for the coming year. To get a 17 with 50,000 miles that we can count on from a vendor that we purchased from previously, this is what he's brought to the court before to get the approval for.
yeah. Well, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. We just need to handle
The
it.
court's blessed it, but I think the cleanest way to do it for auditing purposes is for he and I to do an executive order, since the big holdup that is requiring us to kind of go around normal procedures. There's not a competitive market to be covered.
Right. We have to wait. We have to put in for a vehicle like we put in for Ford Explorers and for Dodge Chargers with them. We've been waiting for several months to get one available,
Yeah.
and they've just now called us and said they have a 17 ready for us, like the two we've purchased previously.
Yeah, yeah.
You do that this way.
I didn't understand you.
You
Joe.
have to do that this
We
way.
can do that after court.
And the cost is a little bit less than the sheriff had originally told you. It was going to be in the 17s, but the cost today that they quoted us is $16,950.
Yeah. But we can go ahead and take care of that right after court
Thanks.
and do it that way.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay?
Appreciate it.
Okay, Scotty?
Good morning. Morning. I just have my June fee report. Need to get acknowledged, please.
Make a motion, we acknowledge the Logan County Clerk fee report for June.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Before you, you'll have a budget. That's going to be an amended budget that we're required to do now through the Department of Local Government. I just need to get that acknowledged, please, through the court.
Scotty, I looked over there.
Just a long.
Oh, okay.
Long form.
Motion to acknowledge.
Okay, this is for year 2020. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we've got a motion.
Second.
Okay, got a second. To approve the amended budget that we got to send in DOG. Is there any question? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Just to let the court know, we had a meeting yesterday with every clerk in the state, the Secretary of State's office and the state board over Zoom meeting. They have put together a task force. They are, as we speak, trying to put a plan together for the fall general election. So just thought I'd bring the court up to that in case you get any questions or anything. So probably the next couple of weeks, they'll have another meeting, maybe. You know, if the governor and the Secretary of State don't get together and do an emergency order again like we did in the primary, we'll have traditional election. That's just by statute. So that's the first thing that has to take place. I just thought I'd bring y'all up to speed. Thank you.
Thank you, Scotty.
Okay, Department Head, Ginger.
Morning.
Just want to let y'all know that the equipment that y'all approved in the emergency for the recorder is up and running. We're still working out a few kinks on it, but it is up and running. Got it fixed last week. So, and we're still waiting on an exact date on the CAD. Of course, they're using
Code.
Code,
but
is it?
as soon as I get a date, I'll let y'all know.
Okay.
Other than that, we're running pretty smooth.
That's good.
Thanks.
Okay, Nathan.
Morning.
Morning.
Hey, Forrest.
Nathan had a whole bunch of stuff in there for us.
Yeah, I like to
That's a busy man.
keep it going, yeah. I'll just mention about the recycling first. The center out there, Tim, has been working, put out 15 bales of cardboard. That is the most we've had since the inmates have been unable to come. So Tim is staying fairly busy out there, and we're picking up different spots as we have the ability. He and I will go out to where they have cardboard and pick it up. So
I appreciate y'all doing that. That's,
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, we're managing, trying to do the best we can with that part, and hope for the best. And I did mention about the Scott Waste Recycling. He told me he would come by here sometime soon and talk with y'all, the Scott Waste folks. But he mentioned just the forms they send me with the the once a month recycling. The actual cost is down per ton, but the amount is up that people are actually putting in the recycling, I guess, due to everything. So the amount we're actually paying as a county is about the same. So I just wanted to go over that for a second. And we also, one of my projects I'm going to be looking at soon, we did put in $30,000 in this year's budget for a truck at the recycling center, so I'll be looking at that. That'll be a project coming up for me soon to give you some more paperwork to look at if you didn't have enough already. So, litter abatement, I put that there. What I put down on that report for the litter, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make spot checks around the county, different places. I get called or just kind of driving around checking on litter. So a lot of that is for me. And sometimes it's not. We did have 2 nonprofit groups that picked up in June, and then we had 1 community service. So, and I've had 1 community service and 1 group this month. So it is still slowly continuing the litter pickup the best we can. And
This gentleman that worked on the Holland Lick Road was by himself in the rain picking that up.
Coach Jay Allison,
He sure was.
He's dedicated.
Yeah, he
works
was a
hard.
working buddy.
he works hard on that.
And I noticed you said excellent job, and it looked like he was going after it.
He deserves to be commended for what he does on that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And I did just want to mention one more thing. We have coming up later on the agenda, the illegal dump. I got 2 bids. I just want to go over that real quick. And they both are recommended. They both come with high recommendations from different folks. And in the grant we received from the state to pay for it, it's a 25% match, but it was $1,987, so almost $2,000 that we have, just for your information as you look at these bids that we have. And again, it's out at Newtown Road. Tyler looked with me the other day at it. It's
On
not
Bryan.
super huge,
It's
but
off Bryan.
yeah, off Bryan Road, yeah. And not super huge, but we're hoping that, hopefully they gave us some good bids. Anything else? Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Paul, you got anything today?
No, sir.
Okay, Ben? Okay. Appreciate both of you being here.
Yep.
Okay, we've already done the treasurer's report, and I think that's all the department heads. Judges' announcements. The Kentucky County Judges and Magistrates Joint Conference tentatively has been rescheduled for September the 29th through October the 1st. And that's just 3 weeks before they've got the CAECO conference too. Hopefully we'll be able to have these conferences. There's no guarantee, but that's a tentative date, so y'all might keep that in mind. You should have a copy of your road allotments in your folders this morning. If there's any questions, you can come talk to me after court. And also in your court folder is a park and rec inventory prepared by Lead. If any of you are interested in what inventory we got now, there should be a packet of that in your folder this morning. Is there any other announcements that I might have missed? I know a lot of things is not going on. A lot of things are trying to be planned, like at the Tobacco Festival, but they're yet to know how things are going to go with COVID-19. So at least they're planning a few things. Okay, reports. Thomas, you want to give any kind of report on?
Sure. I'll do a report on our common ground meeting that we had last week. I don't remember exactly what day it was. Wednesday, wasn't it? Wednesday last week, July the 8th. Very well attended. Very pleased. Most of the elected officials were there. Of course, you had representation from the League and IDA board was there. I'll get this somewhat close. There was a sign-in sheet. The judge could probably repeat exactly, but there was the county surveyor was there. I know for sure 3 real estate people were there. I know for sure 3 contractors were there. I missed a few other people, but it was well attended, and we really appreciate that because we heard some good feedback, which the elected officials needed to hear. About what challenges the realtors face. We do not have building permitting going on countywide. They're starting to have, and have been for a long time, that they've been able to side-skirt it, but it's getting harder to do. These people who are giving loans are requiring, a copy of the building permits and inspections before doing the loan. So, it's just not available if it's done out in the county, which takes the contractor who, if they didn't know they're having to hire a independent inspector to come and inspect the property after the fact, which is not a proper inspection. But they're having to do it, and that has been sufficing, but, you know, you can't properly inspect the footer after the footer's been dug, poured, and you got a house sitting on top of it. But anyhow, they're doing what they can, so they were very supportive of it. We heard from one local insurance agent who was there, who has taken steps in their office not to write insurance on a home that was built by a known contractor. So that's how bad it is out there, and as far as that is concerned, and they've had to do so to protect their other policy holders. It was a tough decision that company had to make, and but they've done it, and they won't insure a house that was built by a known person who's building houses right now. So anyhow, I think a lot of information. They're very eager to know from us what the next step is. We kind of learned some things that were a little bit embarrassing, I'll be honest with you, as far as being on the court. You know, we had for a while been working under the premise that we were working under one set of rules that was last, we thought, approved in 2005. We found out that those rules were not brought before the court and approved in 2005. So really we're working under rules that were amended in 1997. The original commission was set and approved by the court in 1995. There was an addendum done in 97. And so the 97 set is what is official. I know that committee is working hard to finish up. They're really close to finishing that. I would encourage this board right here, because you are the board that governs that policy. There may be a committee set, but you are the governing board. And whether we like it or not, the problems that I'm going to bring up in post-agenda is the responsibility of this court. You can't point the finger back at this committee, because they operate strictly on the guidance that you have appointed them. They have no teeth to enforce what's there. That is our problem. And that is what I'm going to bring up in post-agenda of the known problems that we know. I think every district has one. I know I've got one, Tyler's got two, Jason's got one really bad one. They need to be addressed, and we are the board to address that. And it's going to be my recommendation in post-agenda that the county attorney and the judge address those with those developers. And so we'll bring that up, but in the meantime, all those people were really encouraged to hear that we were finally addressing this issue, because it's just going to be better for the people who we serve. I make it real clear that nobody is trying to create a new set of laws. We have laws, we have ordinances, we have, the subdivision ordinances. We're just strictly not enforcing, okay? And the people, y'all know how that works. The people in our communities who want to do right, they do right, But the people who want to get by with something, they're just going to get by with it. And when you're not enforcing the laws, they just get by with it. And so we're going to have some financial burdens to bear because of that, because we didn't sink our teeth in with those developers and say, hey, this road does not meet spec. But now we have roads that we won't take over that homeowners are paying their property tax on, and they expect the county to make this right, because we were the governmental entity to oversee that, and we didn't do so. So anyhow, nothing we can't fix. It'll be a little painful, and it will take a little bit of time. All those that were in attendance were really supportive of the contractor licensing part of it. They thought that was a really good idea. Again, not trying to create any new law. State law requires, hey, you've got to have general liability if you are contracting, state law says if you have one employee works 1 hour, you are required by law to cover that person with workman's comp, okay? So, again, county's not trying to create a new law or make anything difficult. We're just trying to make everybody to abide by the laws that are set by our Commonwealth. So, very encouraging. Everybody, Tyler was there. I know you couldn't make it there because of what happened. And,
That's all right.
but I wanted you and Jack to know that it was very encouraging. Everybody was there was super supportive. I heard from 3 or 4 people after the fact that had called and said, hey, sorry I couldn't make the meeting, but how did it go? Hey, I heard from so-and-so about the meeting that attended, and they offered their support. So I don't want you to think it just affects, the builder and the developer. These homeowners are happy to hear this. These real estate people are happy to hear this. These bankers are happy to hear this. I left that out. We had one banker there, and she told us it's getting difficult to make a loan, a conventional, loan anymore out in the county. No problem in the city, but out in the county, it's getting a little difficult because these prime lenders such as, VA and FSA, they're requiring these permits, and well, the county didn't require me to do one, so now they're scared to hire, an independent, come inspect this house. Well, you can't expect that 2x4 wall when there's sheetrock on it, and the list goes on and on and on. They inspect what they can, which is basically a home inspection, which is not a building. A home inspection and a building inspection is two different things. So, it's really good. We just need to keep the committee active and moving forward and make that next step. FYI, all the mayors that were there, all of them were there except for Dareville. They weren't able to attend. They are wanting to do this jointly through our, get that term that we use when we do those things together.
Interlocal agreement.
Interlocal agreement. They are happy to do that with an interlocal agreement, and everybody share responsibility of who serves on that and the financial part of it as well. I think everything we talked about is heading in the right direction. We just need to keep it going. I'll be glad to answer any questions if anybody has any about the meeting.
Okay, we'll move on then. Don't have any citizens here this morning, so we'll move on then to other new business this morning. And the first item of business is to open bid for a dump site cleanup that we had advertised. Out in off of Baldwin Circle. So we got 2 bids this morning. One of them, David Delahaye. Okay, David Delahaye's bid is $2,500. Okay, then we got 9 Electric. Nathan, I'm gonna send you downstairs with this one because I cut the bid in half. Night Electric total cost is $1,720.
How much was the first of it again?
$2,500.
25?
Yeah. I don't know if there's any reason to pass them around.
They just say the same thing.
Yeah.
17, 20, 25.
51, percentage of 51 Baldwin's are. Yeah. Okay, that's two bids we got. Y'all want to look at them?
What's your pleasure, Tyler?
Well, so we got $1,987 available with the state grant, right? So, I mean,
Some of that money probably have to be sent back. So
Right.
We got a 25% match, and then there's no question. But the good thing about it was it's something we can apply for again if we have another one.
well, I make a motion, we accept the bid from United Electric for cleanup on, let's see, Baldwin Circle, for $1,720.
Because you need that amount.
I have $1,720, right? Yeah.
$1,720?
Yep. That's what I wrote down.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to accept the bid from United Electric on the dump cleanup for $1,720. Is there any questions?
He has done good work for my dad on your
Yep. Okay, if there's not any other comments, questions, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is approve a resolution. A resolution from Logan County. A resolution from County of Logan, Kentucky, authorizing the county judge executive to make application for and upon approval to enter into an agreement with the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, COES, to execute any document which are deemed necessary by COES to facilitate and administer the project and to act as a authorized correspondent for this project. This resolution also establishes procurement policies for any COES approval project for the fiscal year 2020 application cycle. Whereas the County of Logan, Kentucky desires to make application for the United States Department of Homeland Security and the Commonwealth of Kentucky funds for a project to be administered by Kentucky Office of Homeland Security. And whereas it is recognized that an application for an approval of Kentucky Office of Homeland Security funds impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the county. Now therefore be it resolved this 14th day of July 2020 by the County of Logan, Kentucky, that the county judge executive is hereby authorized to execute and furnish all required documentations, including a memorandum of agreement, as may be required by COES for the furtherance of any of the above referenced project, and to act as the authorized correspondent and for said project for the purpose of any COES funded projects using fiscal year 2020 funds. The county will use the provisions of KRS 45A for the purchase of equipment and other services. For equipment or services under $20,000, 3 quotes will be attained. For equipment and services that exceed $20,000, the provisions of KRS 45A will apply. And basically what this is doing, this is a resolution that we got to send back to the Office of Local Government to be able to apply for any of the CARES Money Act. And at this time, we've already sent in 360-some thousand, I think. But we've got to get this resolution and the application filled out and signed. This CARES Act money is what it is.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve this resolution and allow me to enter into the agreement. Any questions? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is the approval of the sheriff's 2019 franchise tax settlement. And you should have a copy of it in front of you. It's another one of these big, long copies.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to reappoint Wallace Harper to the North Logan Water Commission for a 2-year term ending 7/1/2024. 2022, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any questions? Wallace's been on that board for 6 or 8 years. Okay, any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is the reappointment of Roger Martin and Johnny Cates to the Joint City Planning Commission for a 4-year term. And if you look, I've got one more, but I hadn't heard anything from him. And that was,
Second.
okay, we got a motion second. Questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business, we've had this goes back to that earthquake insurance that we left off unpaid. We need to retract order number 2 of the January 25th, 2020 court meeting. And what it says, a motion by Jason Harper, seconded by Barry Wright, to accept the 2020-21 earthquake insurance renewal quote at $30,984 for 1-year coverage through KECO with a $250,000 deductible and a $20 million limit. We need to retract that because we got a better deal.
I'll make the motion to retract order number 2.
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to retract that motion. Is there any questions? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to accept a new quote through KECO for earthquake insurance. And what this is, it's a $20 million umbrella coverage for $25,899. It's a little bit under a $6,000 savings with a $25,000 deductible. The only difference you would get if you took a risk with $250,000 like we were taking, you would save $2,000. But,
Okay, that's what I was wondering when you said that, because the other was $250,000 deductible. But
Yeah.
this one here just-
this near's $25,000 deductible for $25,899. And this came in almost immediately after with the necessity to pass the other one. I ain't been more than got down to my office and we had this quote come in.
I'll make a motion to accept the new quote from Cato for the earthquake insurance for $25,899 with the $25,000 deductible.
I'll second it, since we saved that kind of money.
Okay, got a motion and a
We'll send it to
second.
the next court meeting and save $6 more thousand.
Well, $6,000 savings is nice, ain't it?
It is. We're gonna need it.
Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business, you should have, in each one of your folders, maintenance contract with Laser Copier Technologies, and that's up here on the square up here in Russell. One of them is between them and the Logan County Judge's Office. The other one's at the Logan County Road Department. The other one's Logan County ECC. And the other one is Logan County Occupational Tax Office. We got their equipment in their offices, and they do a good job. And the price didn't change from the last 2 years.
Make a motion to accept the technology document for $780
Second.
Well, it's 780,
Yeah, $780, $125, $300 for the department, and $250
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, Thomas, you said you had a posted agenda item.
Yeah, so on the post agenda, again, I guess one thing that was enlightening to me, you know, from the common ground meeting was the fact that, again, that this board is the responsible party for, you know, our subdivision, ordinance. I mean, there is a committee, you know, people who sit on that, who oversees that, but as far as, and I don't know the legal term, I'm not going to go over there, as far as I guess, the executive board that enforces that, what do you do when somebody's not complying? Well, that board doesn't have necessarily the enforcement part of it. That's the responsibility of this court. And again, I guess we have the privilege of all of us sitting here now, of honestly saying, hey, we weren't on the board that passed these ordinances, we weren't on the board that revised these ordinances, and we simply did not know. And that is true. I know that's true in my case. I've been here longer than anybody except for the judge, and we've been here the same amount of time. I just simply didn't know. I assumed that that board was correcting problems as they came up, make sure that was, you know, that they were complying. And the part is, well, what happens when they don't comply? Or they are, what happens when that person is not complying? And that's where the failure is. I'm assuming after reading and talking to everybody at the common ground meeting, that's where we should be taking action. And so, I know Canyon Run is a problem, I know Dakota Lane is a problem, I know, I think there's another one that's being developed. The question is, who is sending notification to these developers that, and again, I'm gonna pick on Canyon Run, because that is the longest one of all of them that I know about. Who is sending a letter and telling them to get this road up to standard and give them a set timeline, and then, and I don't know if it's too late for Canyon Run or not. Matter of fact, the developer is deceased, but there is an estate. All the property's been sold, but those people who bought those homes in that subdivision are owed a response from the county, and the response should be, we are going to A, seek restitution from the developer, and when that developer does or does not comply, we should be out there fixing that road and bringing it on the county road system, whether we like it or not. It's not those people's fault that we didn't do our job, and we didn't do our job, okay? And we don't want it to happen again. There's one going out on Plainview Church Road. I know nothing. I know nothing other than it's going out, and it's not even my district. I've had 2 complaints on it. Tyler, I spoke with him before court. He said that road is bonded. My question is, who has that bond? Does the judge have that bond? Who's holding it? What we have found, and it's actually a letter of credit, what we're finding on these letter of credits, which the current ordinance allows you to do, you go get a letter of credit. The problem is with the letter of credits, they're letting them lapse. You can go get it today, turn it in to the planning and zoning and subdivision committee. They can look at it and say, yeah, this letter of credit's good for $300,000, it's good, for a year. Boom, stamp it. And they turn around and go to the bank and say, rip it up, I don't want it. I'm not saying they do it, but we have had that happen multiple times. Okay, the road, we tell them the road's not in compliance. 3 months later, they still haven't done nothing. This committee tells them again, hey, the road's not in compliance, you need to do this. 3 months later, they still haven't done nothing. 6 months later, a year later, boom, all the lots are sold. And you think they care? They're done. The letter of credit is lapsed. There's no restitution or ramification that we can go back on and say, hey, bank, you issued this letter of credit. We did that once. And the bank said, yeah. But that letter of credit was not reviewed, a year and a half ago. It was good for 1 year. So, again, those are the problems that we're seeing. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but we need to get every known problem to the judge, to the county attorney, and that county attorney, the county attorney needs to send them a letter stating that your road is not in compliance, and you have whatever our thing says they have timelines to get it compliant. Get it compliant. Dakota Lane needs to be fixed. I mean, it's
Now Dakota,
and Dakota Lane.
yeah, Dakota Lane, it's got potholes.
It's just terrible, and it's not the fault of those people who bought those homes out there. They bought in subdivision that have requirements in it, and we are the governing body to oversee that, whether we like it or not, we fail to do so. So, I know if I lived on Dakota Lane, or if I lived down Canyon Run, I'd be up there every day of court saying, I don't think that road fixed. That is y'all's problem, not us. So to start with, I'd like to see any of the magistrates, if you know of a situation, you need to, I'm suggesting, because I'm going to do mine, get it to the county judge, and I'm asking the county attorney to look at those regulations, follow the law, and we're the enforcement arm of those ordinances, and send those letters out. The other thing I'd like to see that the county judge's office kept up with is those developments. All right, until we get a better system going, that we have on file what subdivisions are going, what roads are going in, and are those letter of credits and/or bonds up to date? And when they go, the big thing is you got to track when they go out of that. Okay, so if you get a letter of credit on July the 14th of 2019, and it expires in 1 year, we should have that on file, and in June, we should be contacting that developer for an updated letter of credit. Hey, your letter of credit expires in 30 days. We need the new one on file. You know, letter of credit is really bad. It just, there's nothing we can do to make them renew it. It just requires them to get it once. There's no language in there that they keep it going the way I read.
Because if it goes, say it takes 3 years to develop the subdivision, and after 1 year and just expires, then we don't have nothing going.
That's correct. Most, if you look at some, and again, we'll learn as we read some of these others, but I've read some of these letters from other counties, and you talk about phases, when you see people do subdivision in phases, they do it because of that reason. A, it's cash flow. I've got to develop a road and put a bond up for a road, and that bond is for this section of road. And they develop that, they sell the lots off, and then the road is made whole, they turn it over to the county, the city, whatever the municipality is, and then they do phase two. Now they're bonding the next section of the road. So it doesn't, the developer is not financially liable for a whole lot of road at one time. So,
Does he pave that road out there?
most entities require.
Somebody told me that he paved that road.
It's no set time, it's until the county.
I'm talking about out there,
We will be making that suggestion. Bond these roads.
What is it?
Not doing it letters of credit. The bond does not have a timeline.
Somebody said paved it.
It's bonded until that road is finished being developed.
No, he paved it last day or two already.
But in the meantime, we need to be enforcing the rules that we have in place, and that's currently not being done.
No, Tony,
There are 4 places right now that are active.
up there where he's doing it, right across where you come out.
I guess I would just say I'm fine to look at the specifics of them and compare that to what our laws and regulations are, but when it comes to a lot of our property issues, we're behind on regulating of those and having safeguard agencies. I won't call it agency, it would just be a branch to follow up and do those things. And I know anytime we've started talking about any sort of things governing those type of issues that are more modern, they seem to not follow through. So I would encourage us, if we're going to take this step, to look to more modernize our processes. But again, to make sure that we're saying the same thing, I guess I would need to know the properties you're talking about. We would need to look at the regulations that are applicable, and I'll write a letter to the best of my ability, but we do need to have a better monitoring agency of some sort and more up-to-date regulations, because I think some of these are, people work around the subdivision requirements by not doing them as subdivisions. So I'm happy to help, and if you want to start that and have a conversation about it. I actually haven't had, Judge and I heard some complaints on it, but I've not heard anything on it recently, so I wasn't aware that occurred at the Common Ground meeting, and I had criminal court that morning, so it was kind of a conflict.
Well, I think from, on my side, the Canyon Run side, I think we will start hearing some complaints, because I went down there the other day, and it's to the point to where your average car can't get in and out of the driveway. There's people down there that can't get their vehicles out to the main road. They have SUVs or some four-wheel drive. So that's coming.
Who is that going to be reported to? Because that's not typically what my role in it would be. So I can't go out there and say this isn't that. There's typically going to be somebody else that's going to say these things aren't up to code. Who's that person to say it's not up to code?
I would say it's this close. I mean, there is, no subdivision, the subdivision committee, get the proper name of that, but the subdivision committee has the rules, and that's what's happening. You know, they're telling these people, no, that doesn't make any, right now, the way it reads, Paul goes out and inspects that road and says it applies or it doesn't apply, you know.
But that's only at the end when we're looking to put it on the county road map.
No, it's actually during, the way that, well, Paul's here, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody goes out there now and is gonna develop a subdivision, and they're gonna put in a street, Paul's the one that goes out and says, yeah, that meets it, or no, it doesn't. That's the way it currently reads.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it reads.
There's guidelines in it.
Hey, Paul.
I mean, I would
come
be in
back
favor
over
of
here.
modernizing a lot of this, but it's similar to what you're doing with the building code. There needs to be at least some money allocated and some person who does that.
And totally agree. We are going to address that moving forward. We would like to see that under one roof, you know. I mean, you know, that there is an inspector that goes out there and, you know, reads the laws and the ordinances that we have in place, and they go out there and they look at the road and say, yes. But, you know, I had a complaint the other day that a road was just put into a subdivision. It looks like there's going to be 6, 7, 8 houses on it. They didn't even remove the sod off the road.
What I'm going to suggest with these complaints for the short term, or while we're working through this, is that each magistrate be the one that takes those, and then we can have a meeting at some point. But I know we can't all meet, but maybe me and Logan and maybe Paul and the individual magistrates, and let's look at how we get this jump started for each individual one we're talking about.
What about a road that it was only like one house on it? Half a mile road, one house on it. And then all of a sudden there's like 5 more houses
That's
built
a lot
on it.
of them. They'll add a house a year.
And see, it's not subdivision though.
It wasn't a subdivision because it didn't develop in the way we define a subdivision. So that's where we've just stopped regulating and not modified things. And so there've been workarounds. So some of them, I don't know if I can.
So, and again, this is a question for Joe, but when you read the subdivision regulations, it says when you divide that property, you just created a subdivision. So it does apply. So your situation out there, and again, no fault of anybody. I'm not faulting the people who did it. They thought they were doing it right. When that homeowner out there and put in a road to his home, and then, I'm making this up, 10 years later, he chops off 2 acres and sells it to his nephew, whatever, you know, to build a house. He actually just created a subdivision, and the way that subdivision regs, he just created a subdivision. He would have to follow the laws of that subdivision, which in this case would have addressed that road. And somebody would have said, hey, this road's not wide enough, there's been a lot of drainage, you need to do this, 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 and this. But that was done 4 times, because now there's 5 houses out there, right? So,
That's correct.
You know, no, and again, I'm not faulting the landowners. They didn't do anything wrong, they just didn't know. Had there been some enforcement, had we had a proper active thing going on, somebody would have caught that and stopped and said, whoa, wait a minute. You're creating a subdivision. When you divide your property, you just created a subdivision. And we need to address the road. And then it wouldn't have been an issue. Now we've done it 5 times, and there is a good argument with those 5 landowners that, hey, you know, it's not my fault you didn't enforce the law. I want you to make this a road and get it a proper road. I pay my property tax, and those constituents deserve a proper road. It's not their fault that we didn't make whoever was dividing that follow the regulations. You divide your property. And I know we're going to get a little kickback from farmers, but there's regulations to protect that. I mean, most farmers, hey, I'm going to divide off 2 acres right here to allow a family member to build a house, and you know, there's regulations that address that with some exemptions, and but it still has to be addressed. Yeah, you're gonna do this, but you're not gonna do this 9 more times, and then come back and say, hey, we need to make this a county road. So, all those things, I don't have all the answers, guys.
That's how they've done it in my experience for me as clerk's office, a spot of land, they'll sell it, instead of going through the subdivision rules, the rules that they're set up since I've been here, they can sell a piece of property, a lot, this year, and they can sell one next year. They just can't sell more than one lot.
That's correct.
And so that's what I need to be looking at.
They can sell more than one lot a year, they just can't transfer, they can't get a deed transfer.
There's a lot of that going on.
I know the people that sell multiple lots a year, then they just say, hey, I can't get you your deed till 2026.
I'm saying, if you're gonna look at this problem you're talking about, you've also got to look at that. That's where some of your problems are going to the road system you're talking about. If I do it over a 10-year period, then the road, they have to get a road to their house by themselves. You got a problem. I'm just throwing that out.
I mean, again, every time this specific issue hasn't come up that we've gotten into it, it usually seems to die when it comes to the increase in overhead that it's going to need to enforce and regulate. I'm all for it. I would want to modernize it. I mean, last time I've dealt with issues like that kind of had to do with the borderline planning and zoning, and what we have is not anything that looks like planning and zoning anywhere else, but it's basically we can pass an ordinance and do certain things, and that came up whenever we were looking at the set aside for the TVA project. We've looked at other planning and zoning issues and potentially having types of, enforcement boards, which make Nathan's job easier, but it always seems to kind of fizzle out when it comes to that. So these are, and again, the building code stuff, it's all a symptom of that in a lot of ways, because you can pass ordinances all day, but you still got to have the people who assist to go out and make sure it's happening and put the teeth in to do it. So again, I can't commit to doing what you want, but if I can do what you want, I will do that. But that's going to be a case-by-case basis, depending on what our ordinances and law are. And I would encourage in any of these that the complaints come to the individual magistrates, so you all can kind of verify that. And I'm happy to do, everything I can, because I've got a house that is out in the county, so if those issues come up, if I ever want to sell that, I'm going to be in that same boat. I know I'm in a subdivision that has 2 roads that are on the county road system and one that's not, so I understand those issues are personal with the landowners, but I can only do what I can legally do, and that's what I got to verify before I commit to do.
That's all I'm asking. I'm sure not asking, I wouldn't ask you to do anything that's outside of what our current policy is. The part that we're having trouble with is the enforcement. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but from that common grounds meeting, it clearly states that we are the enforcement.
I don't know. I haven't looked at that to say the specific issues you're talking about or something.
Well, but this subdivision.
I'm just saying I'm not going to commit to doing anything until I've reviewed an ordinance. That's all I'm saying. I will do it, but I'm going to.
Asking the question. We have this subdivision book. I don't have it with me. We have that subdivision committee, and we have the ordinances. Who is the governing body of that? I already know the answer. It's us. Okay, it's not the city. It is us. According to that regulation, it was adopted and approved by us.
I guess where I'm coming down is I haven't read it to see what that body does in that event. So that's more what I'm getting at. What are my teeth to do something if they are in opposition to our ordinance? I'm not going to commit to doing something on a criminal case if I haven't read the statute recently just to cross my T's and dot my I's. So I'm just being thorough before I commit to promise to do something for you on an ordinance I haven't reviewed recently.
Correct. I'm just asking the gentleman, because I want to be correct on this. If we pass that, we are the body that governs. Is that not correct?
say that is. I mean, sometimes you walk past things that are criminal, or sometimes you walk past things that would be across the street. I don't know what authority you all have to do if they don't.
So we need,
We could have passed something in 1997 that has no ability for us to hold people accountable to. Is that what you're saying?
Could be possible.
And why did we pass it?
I don't
You're
know.
saying the one we had in place in 1997, that doesn't have any bearing whatsoever?
I'm saying when you have a law, there are laws out there. Sometimes they're criminal, sometimes they're civil, sometimes they're administrative. I don't know what exactly that is. So sometimes if you're passing an ordinance, it depends on what the teeth of that ordinance are. And again, I haven't looked at this to say exactly what authority that gives you all to do.
so we just need to get you a copy of the 1997.
I can get a copy of it, I just haven't had this
So
brought
that
to my
ordinance
attention
says
to
that there's
review.
that a developer is required to have a bond or and I'm just gonna make this scenario up, a letter of credit for the road for a minimum of $100,000. That's what the ordinance said. 1997, we passed it, this body passed it and approved that. When that is not done, are you saying we have no authority?
I'm not saying that you all don't have necessarily authority, I'm just not saying where that authority is to go.
Well, we can figure that out. That'd be interesting. I'm just trying to figure out if we even have any authority.
We're talking post-agenda about something that hasn't been brought to my attention, so I'm happy to look at it, but I'm gonna need another court meeting. I mean, I've always encouraged the 10 years I've been here, that if you wanna ask me about an ordinance, I would, a heads up, or else I'm going to ask you to give me a meeting, and that's all I'm saying here.
I'm just curious how, when we pass ordinances,
Some of it could be a language thing, because I don't know what you mean by "we're the body" to address the issue. So it could just be a pure language thing. But there are many bodies that can address issues that are passed by ordinance. You can have a criminal court judge, you can have a civil court, which we bring. It could be a purely civil thing that the homeowner has to enforce. There could also be an administrative judge, which would, it's kind of like the city code enforcement thing. I'm just saying, I don't know what that is in this case, and I don't know what the teeth of what a penalty would be. It could say at the end of it, failure to do this is a blank misdemeanor or something, so they've got to pay a fine and that's it. I don't know, because I haven't looked at that recently enough to have it memorized.
well, when you look it up, make sure you look up the 1997 copy, not the 2005.
Okay.
The 2005 was never voted.
He probably won't find it then if it wasn't voted on.
Or the body.
By this body, so.
Well,
Everybody assumed we were working under 2005 revisions, but we're not. They never voted.
well, I mean, even on some of our road requirements, I don't know that some of those have been passed in ordinance. They've just been what your all standards were before you all would standard accept them. So some of those things aren't necessarily going to be by effect of law, because that's the way you all operated on them. I mean, there was a road criteria that was kind of adopted but never passed as an ordinance and law. And that was the minimum of what Paul looks for before he brings the road on to the county road system. So that's going to all intersect in this. But again, a lot of it's because we've just been operating under things that have aged in time and maybe aren't as effective to deal with everything we're dealing with in 2020.
Well, if we could maybe look at that and get some guidance, and again, I'm fine with that. Every magistrate who has an issue, make it known to the judge, and then we can determine after you read that, what basis or what grounds, if any, that we do have to go back to those developers.
That's what we need to do right now, but I'm saying moving forward, we need to come up with something more formal and have people who are better versed in that. And it's not you all. It would be better if there was one single person if we really wanted to be serious about that. So.
I agree that that's the intent moving forward, but again, I'm just trying to address some old problems and some current developments that, I'm not sure.
I think we're all on the same page. I just want a court meeting in order to do that, and so that we know what we're looking at. It's always going to be the devil's in the details, so it's going to be each individual case. So I might be able to do something in one of the road cases that I can't in another, because it's going to determine based upon a lot of specific issues and how that applies with platted subdivisions versus Barry subdivision example versus Scotty subdivision example. Not all fruits are the same, some apples, some oranges, and it's going to be based upon the specifics of what I can apply to the individual case that you all bring to me.
Hey, Paul, now that you're back in there, so I guess the question that we had, I guess as I read it, maybe I'm wrong, when somebody is currently building a subdivision and puts in a road just from end to end, as I read it, you are the person that is inspecting that. Is that correct?
Well, planning and zoning asked me to look at it, but anybody's got a right to go out on the lake or anywhere and build a subdivision. And planning and zoning might say, well, you can do this. It's platted and you can do this. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be good enough for us to take it on. The final, we look at it.
Planning and zoning is looking at a subdivision. So
Sometime.
they turn it in, they put a road in. The way I read it, it says the Logan County Road Form.
Yeah.
Okay, which is you in this scenario, but this was written in 1997. So are you going out there and inspecting roads?
They usually bring the plat by and ask me to sign it.
So the road that just was put in Dollar Davenport District off Plainview Church Road.
Oh, I did inspect that road because I was told to by the judge, because he said from now on, we're actually to physically inspect the road.
So did that road be?
Yes. But like I said, I haven't evaluated the road for our purposes yet, just for that purpose of planning and zoning.
For sure, if it meets planning and zoning, it's going to meet your specs.
Would, but I'll go right back out there and inspect it again. Because sometimes time goes by, like years, like Dakota Lane, for instance. Years go by, well, the developer never did try to put it on the county. At the time, when he got it done, it was probably would have passed, and everything was good, but it went years later, and then it degraded. And it has going to have to do this, and this. Even though the former road department supervisor probably signed off on that blueprint at the time. Time had went by and it degraded. That's several of them. It's a problem, like Dakota and one out on J. Will Stewart and different ones.
My Phillip Lane would have passed when it was put on, probably, because it was before 87.
Probably.
Because it was before 87, but it won't now. But there was only one house there, maybe one or two houses. And now that's what it's developed into 5 very nice houses.
I guess, it's a matter of, like you say, working together with the planning zone, bring the court more in to what y'all want to see, done. But now, people are insisting on building way out somewhere, and they build it, and then 10 years later say, well, come and fix my road. It's not on the county. Well, it never was put on there. It may have been planned and zoned, but it never was officially put on. And time has passed, the road's degraded, just like at the Canyon Run. I mean, the taxpayers wouldn't, I don't think it'd be fair to put that road on, because it'd be unless they do some work to it, but it's gonna be a big expense.
Well, part of Canyon runs in Muhlenberg County too.
Right. But people are buying homes thinking that the county is gonna take care of the road, and they're not doing it.
Well, like for Dakota Lane, for instance, I mean, when you're buying a house, you probably don't think about, is this on the county or is this private? Somebody buys a house and then, but as years go on, 30 years down the road, I mean, at some point.
Well, at the time when they built it, they thought, well, we'll all get together and we'll chip in and take care of the road. Well, different ones move in, and maybe even different developers and different landowners. And then they go back to the county, and you fix me.
But with subdivision regulations from 97, the contractor or the person building the subdivision, developing it, was supposed to put the road in properly and put the drainage and all that in properly, right? So
I didn't really, it's not, I take partial blame for that.
Well,
as
no,
far as- but
that ain't your
I was always told, well, the Judge and I just look at this blueprint, it's gonna be an addition to planning and zoning, would y'all sign off on it? Not necessarily expect it, because they brought it to us after the fact a lot of times.
Well, you can't do something you don't know you're supposed to do, right? I mean, if you didn't know.
As of right now, if he goes out there and says, I don't really like it, and they keep on building, what does he do?
Right.
Yeah, I know.
And they do that in a lot
I
of
mean,
cases.
so
A lot
I
of
don't
cases,
approve this.
They keep
Yeah.
on building.
But they
and
just
you
keep
know
on
it's not gonna
building.
Get on.
That's right.
So is,
It's not your fault,
so
Paul.
planning and zoning road specs different from the county specs?
Well, they kind of interchange some, but they've never really brought me in on what they do. So, I've asked for that information and stuff.
It's just one big hot mess. What it sounds like.
I mean, this time frame we're talking about too, I mean, statute of limitations is going to become an issue with some of them, but I'm not suggesting this, but this is what I heard you say, is at some point that you maybe feel it becomes our obligation to fill in the void by getting the code and having them on. That's something you all could look at doing, and we can see how that goes. It's just a matter of, there might not be a person who to go after depending on these individual circumstances. That's the realities of it again, but we're talking about the convergence of a lot of different issues here, none of which that I really prepare for today enough to specifically tell you I feel good about everything that you're saying. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying that I never want to commit to something and then come back and go, I'm sorry I can't do that, or I'm sorry it's different than that. But I'm willing to be a partner and work with you, but it sounds like what we need to do is, again, I think we're all in agreement, the issues come to the individual magistrates, and we'll schedule a period of time after enough time's passed for that to come in. For me, Logan, Paul, and the individual magistrates sit down and talk about the specifics of those subjects.
What, Paul,
I don't want to blame planning and zoning totally. They were trying to help Logan County move forward, and all this time. They wanted to see, they didn't want to hold up business. And the ordinances weren't really there to do all the things that you want to do. You just want to get the ordinance caught up to what's going on now.
did you tell me that one subdivision blacktop the road,
We can talk about it, let's not do this today.
Which one?
one out there on Plainview Church?
I don't think he's
Oh,
paid
they're in the process of blacktopping today.
today.
Yeah, they prepped it yesterday. I guess they're.
Did they ever cut the soil, or they just lay the rock on
I
top
put
of it?
12 inches of subgrade in there and walked it in with a dozer, and it's hard as a brick. It's got a good base. It's got a lot better base than a lot of our roads got on it. A whole lot better. He spent the money on his subgrade.
See, Tony McHugh, he knew he was gonna try to put that on the county. So he done everything according to specs. It's right.
He did everything. He cut his ditches.
But whereas a lot of these other ones, like Canyon Run, they just took a dozer and cut a road through there, and then 15, 20 years later, they want it on the county. It don't fly, it's nothing to spec. The cover lane, that's what
But McHugh's road, I mean, I don't have anything for him or against him personally, but his road, he's got a good road out there. He's building a good road. A lot of people, the neighbors and all, have got some kind of problem out there. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It was for sale out there. Anybody could have bought it. So, anyway, if y'all need anything else, I'll stick around here.
All right.
Again, with a lot of this though, people are moving out where we don't have as much regulation, and that's.
A lot of it, yeah. People move from a city, Russellville, and I want to get out in the country. They go out in the country, but they think they're going to have the same benefits and things to take care of every need out there, and it's not going to happen. A lot of it's buyer beware, but we need to be educating people.
That'd help a bunch.
Some kind of way through ordinances, like Thomas is saying, getting the ordinances caught up, or you have to go get a permit. They go get a permit and they realize that certain things are going on. That's not a county road and this and that. They might change their mind on building out in the county. They'd be more informed anyway.
Appreciate it, Paul.
Just so the board knows, since I've been there 14 years, we, at Paul, we've been partners with the planning and zoning. I haven't recorded the plat of a subdivision unless it is signed off. That's just been an agreement we've had. I don't know if we can record to that, that's what I'm bringing it up. We don't record plats. We don't go through the city planning and zoning.
So the new subdivisions going out there, dollars back and forth, that's been platted, you record.
Yes, we've recorded it, it has gone through Joe Perry and the board.
But I guess I'm asking, is that subdivision?
I don't know if it's been recorded, I was just letting the court know, we do not record it. Somebody can do a plat, so don't want to record it, we won't record it unless it goes through the city. It's just always been an agreement with the county, and even before I came.
And so just as and most people won't know this, because they're just not around construction, but, you know, the way it should, that road should not be in place unless the answer to my question to you was yes. You see what I'm saying? And again, it's not a developer's fault. He doesn't know. He's just following what we got written down. But, you know, you take that subdivision, you get a plat, you take that plat to the subdivision board, they approve it, they approve the road, they bring it to you and you record it. Once it's recorded, then you start developing the subdivision. You know, you don't do that in other counties.
And that's where, as Joe stated, that's where we rely on other people to do that legwork to make sure it's right property.
Other counties just simply have the enforcement side of it where somebody's overlooking it, and that's where we're failing. We just don't have anybody overseeing the steps. We have people putting in subdivisions that haven't even been plotted yet, much less approved by the subdivision board, much less reported by our county clerk. But if you go to Warren County, we always like to pick up Warren County, but if you go to Warren County and you see a subdivision being developed, it's already gone through the steps all the way to you to its report.
But that enforcement mechanism is not, I mean, you pointed my way, that's typically not going to be me, that's typically going to be an employee, judge executive.
I was pointing at you.
I just want, that's the part I keep coming to is I agree with you, but our problem always, sticking point with all of these things seems to be who do we put it with in his office? And we can all work together for the short term, but that's going to need to be a conversation with it if we lagged in that, having that enforcement.
We know, I think we are on a path of head down the road of correcting this moving forward. I guess just still my question that I am pointing to you, I guess in my eyes, that this court is the body of enforcement. I don't know if I'm using the right word, maybe that's right or wrong, you're going to look into that. But if we are the body of enforcement, that, hey, this subdivision does not meet the requirement and you do not have a letter of credit, whatever the problem is with it, that this would be the body that would go to that person and ask them to correct it.
In some form, yes, we'll be the ones that.
Because we don't have a separate department that's overseeing our subdivision developments.
Yep.
Well, I know,
Falls on our shoulder.
Thomas, that, I know one situation, and my phone's hanging off the wall, but, one situation out there off of Plainview Church Road, you know, there was a cash line of credit. You know what I'm talking about, that we got, that the zoning board called in a few years ago. One of our deputy sheriff, do what?
Wasn't it 100,000?
Yeah, something like that, you know, they're still out there, and we oversaw the completion of that. You remember that, Paul?
Yes.
So, and I don't know, and
We caught that almost at the end of that letter of credit.
yeah,
I was on board when that happened. We caught it just at the end. Some homeowners came to us from Lawrence, and we started digging into it. And again, this one department didn't know what the other was doing, or assumed that the other department was keeping it. Again, no fault of anybody. I'm not upset at anybody, but we don't have a proper flow to follow. One body
is assuming that the other body is doing something. But we caught that one, I mean, because when the bank got the notice from us that we're calling in that letter of credit, they were none too happy about it. You know? They didn't even know it was still out there, but they paid it. And we got the road fixed for the people that's out there and made it right. But that's the way it's supposed to work. But that was probably 30 to 45 days from being on the other side of things. Oops, that letter of credit expired. And we had to approve those. Go line.
Going forward, that's great. How do you correct previous?
I think we'll have to see what Joe, after he reads the current, and he could probably advise us where our legal standing is with those people. You know, I'm gonna pick on Canyon Run, seems to be the worst one, you know.
I guess I'm gonna come back though, that we need to think about what the alternative is, because you're talking about some pretty old dates of subdivision, so the ones that were outside, you don't have to have an answer today, but that's the part where I encourage you all when thinking about that. That's what we're doing.
Well, I was on record today. The answer is the county sucks it up because we failed and we fixed Canyon Run Road and make it a county road. Okay? It is not those people who bought property out there and invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in properties who pay property tax on those hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know, and again, not upset with anybody, but that is not their fault, and they do pay taxes, and, you know, because, again, as I see it, we should have been regulating that and overseeing it. We didn't. We should be the body that says, you know what, it's gonna take time, you know, because everybody's road money is already spoken for, and, but, you know, give us some time, and we need to fix those roads, and bring them on the county road systems.
That would be astronomical.
We won't have enough money.
Astronomical.
I mean,
That's gonna be, I mean, that's something that 6 other of you need to be thinking about, because I'm not a voting member, so I don't give my opinion on those, because I want to do what you all ultimately want, so long as it's a legal conclusion, but I'm just trying to start conversation for our future court meetings when we bring this
But the
up.
magistrates are still spending their allotted money that they're getting to bring it on the county road, so would that be any additional? If you choose to.
Probably be looking, I mean, what you're proposing, you probably have to look at something aside from that, because
Yeah.
it seems to me the way you usually set your budget up is to have normal maintenance, so this would exceed what that is. Would that be fair to say, Paul?
He would.
What we're talking about would be outside of what is usually budgeted annually, would be just for existing roads, so it would have
Some more money somewhere.
But once we put it on the county, we get that extra.
Well, I'll use the word astronomical, and I don't doubt that it's going to be expensive, but I don't think that's fair, because we don't know.
Well,
I mean, give me a list of the road and the cost estimate per road.
I've got a list on that road and what it would
I'm
cost.
talking about all of them that are in question, you know. Give me a list of what it takes to fix the Logan County part of the Golden Line. I mean, Canyon Run, give me a cost to fix the Golden Line. Give me a cost to fix, now Rosella Homes, which is in my district, I don't think there's a question there. There's 2 homeowners on that road that would like that to be a county road. And the developer keeps telling me he's going to do it, you know, but, you know, that one's not in question, but I think we need an inventory of the ones that are Phillips Line, you know, what are we going to do with Phillips Line, you know?
That thing, yeah.
What roads in your district?
Well, one of them that.
right next to my house. It's not in that, it's in decent shape.
Rosella Holmes Road is not county road.
That should have been put on 20 years ago.
Clementis is not, it's a great road, it meets the specifications.
Used to.
In every shape, form, and fashion, except it floods. The developer of that subdivision did not take care of water retention.
I want to correct something I said a while ago. When I signed off on any of the blueprints I signed off on, of the plats, I was just acknowledging that they platted that in that area. It wasn't, my understanding, I was okay in the roads. Okay.
And
I was
I
acknowledging.
read that weeks ago, so don't hold me to that.
Yeah.
And typically I have to read things 2 or 3 times to be right, but I thought I read that the person who's responsible in the county for inspecting the roads to make sure they
Maybe.
meet spec is the Logan County Road Fund. That's the way I read that. And see, we're not doing it. You know, all to you, we just don't know that that's what it says.
There's like, down at the lake, snow removal. You know, that'd be a big cost. Places, they build these roads, they want their privacy, but then they want you to come in and do everything for them. If somebody wants their privacy, go and build whatever, but don't expect the rest of the county taxpayers to take care of it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. They build everywhere, they can get a lot now, under the road, in the flood zone, everywhere. Then they call, I've got water on me.
I'm not talking about lots, I'm talking about subdivisions.
Subdivisions and
That was
lots.
a lot-
Subdivision, same way.
Logan County subdivision that was approved by the Logan County subdivision committee. That is what I'm addressing.
That would be a 50, that one alone, what is it called down there? What's it called?
A driveway, somebody put in there.
Canyon Run.
Bottom of the hill.
That's a $50,000 at least minimum to get that ready. But then you got snow removal, upkeep. It's gonna be a big road to keep up. When you go on side of a cliff and build a road, it's not gonna hold up like another county road will, a Homer or anywhere else. But that's just something y'all gonna have to get figured out. We'll be glad to do anything y'all say do, but we better increase the budget a whole lot. We take out some of the subdivisions.
We don't know what we can do yet, for sure, we're gonna try to figure it out.
Well, we at least had a good discussion and good stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
And on that particular development, your area, that Canyon Run, we got to determine what's Logan County and what's Gillenburg County too.
Motion to adjourn.
What's no man's land?
Do what?
What part of it's no man's land?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all of them need to be fixed. Some of it's not priorities of.
Well, on a positive note, we had a good dairy turnout out there at the extension office, 1,300 boxes. Thanks what Mike told me. 1,300 boxes of dairy products at $20 a box was given to the people in Logan County, so.
It's awesome. Awesome.
That was, I want to thank Owen Transport, Mike and Justin, and whoever else was involved with that. But it didn't matter what income level you was in, you drove up and got your box and was on the way. So that was a good deal. That's a positive note. Appreciate them doing it.
Motion to adjourn?
Hey, second.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden, Chick,
Yes.